his delegation. We're really pleased to have them here and had been looking forward to this event. Together, we welcome you, everybody from the United States, on this stock-taking tour. We have with us our distinguished panelists here on this side, Pakistani ambassadors, writers, my friends from my fraternity, as well as General Ali Jan Orakzai, former governor of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. And since time is short, I would just, hand over, request Mr. Brahimi to give us or explain his mission here in Islamabad, and then probably we will take questions. Our panelists from the Pakistani side will then respond to the questions. Over to Mr. Brahimi.
Thank you very, very much indeed for receiving us. And it's reassuring to see some old faces, because otherwise we would have been much more intimidated than we actually are. The Sanctuary Foundation in New York has decided a few months ago, early this year, to start this task force on Afghanistan. A lot of people have written, have studied, have pronounced on Afghanistan. And as a matter of fact, even at this stage, I'm not sure how much we can contribute, how much more we can contribute. But I think the people who have accepted to be on this task force, along with Tom Pickering and myself, co-chair, are trying to look at two things. One is that everybody says there is no military solution, but we don't really see exactly what is the non-military solution. Definitely, the idea of negotiating with insurgents must be somehow part of that non-military solution. So that is one thing that we'd like to do. And we would like to hear from you what you think the possibilities there are. The other thing which also I think most people speak about is that the region, the immediate environment, geographical and cultural and political environment of Afghanistan have to contribute effectively if we are going to have a solution. I think a lot of people say that if the main players around Afghanistan, for whatever reason, are not interested in helping for a solution, then there will be no solution. So I think these are the questions that we are asking ourselves, and I think we will be asking. What are the possibilities, the scope of negotiations? Who should be involved in these negotiations? What will they aim for? And how the neighbors, and of course the most important neighbor is definitely Pakistan. I don't think anybody doubts that. What are the neighbors' preoccupations? And what are the neighbors' political disposition to help, to work together, to help the people of Afghanistan and their allies finish this crisis. And this is what we are for, and we are extremely grateful to you. I agree with that, the time is far too short for, but we would very much like to hear from all of you, as much as you can tell us. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Brahimi. I think, Tom, would you like to throw your first question to our guests, any of the guests?
Yeah, I think that first, Lakhdar has explained beautifully what we're interested in. I'd really like to hear from any members of this group about their impression of what is Pakistan's position with respect to contacts and negotiations with the Taliban in Afghanistan.
Before we start, it's Chatham House rule, so no direct attribution to members of the delegation, I understand. And if we could have very precise answers, direct to the point, all members, of the delegation, we are well aware of the history. So we are looking forward, so that would be my request. So go ahead, who would like to respond? Ambassador Jahangir Ashraf Qazi.
First of all, I'm taking the liberty of speaking first because I see some very good friends and respected colleagues here. City, Dr. Tom, Marie, other friends here. And I think there are lots of us, so we do need to keep our remarks brief. What I will say is that, yes, it's easy to say that there is no military solution. Most complicated political problems don't have straightforward military solutions. And as City Director has mentioned, that what exactly is the military, is the non-military solution. And as Tom asked, what is our attitude towards inclusion of the Taliban in a solution, despite the fact that it is perceived to be part of the problem. Afghanistan is extremely complicated, and there is the general impression that the current phase of the Afghanistan situation stems from 9/11, but of course we all know that it goes before that. 9/11 itself was a product of a complex of reasons, and the problem has been that many people in the West, particularly the United States, are very reluctant to see the problem of 9/11 in terms of root causes, because they believe that that would mean that that's a back channel towards blaming America for what happened and all, or making America partially responsible for what happened. I can understand that, but if that situation is ignored, then of course the root causes for the problem in the whole region, including Afghanistan, are not properly addressed, and the danger of the tragedy of 9/11 being repeated is always there, even though it has sort of not occurred mercifully, at least on US territory, but there have been other incidents. So what we need is a holistic approach. The Afghan problem, complex and important as it is, and it is seen in the West as to be the major threat to stability in the future. In fact, the Afghanistan problem in many ways can be seen as a sideshow to a larger problem. If you look at the Indo-Pakistan dynamic and look at the populations and the scales involved, and one of, as Dilap mentioned, unless the neighbors begin to harmonize their problems, there will be no solution. Unless they see a solution in compatible terms, there will be no solution. The India-Pakistan dynamic, now Pakistan has a tendency to always draw your attention to the India-Pakistan dynamic, it revolves around our core concerns, terrorism, Kashmir and all, and the United States wants to play a positive role but doesn't want to get too involved because that leads to America itself being open for criticism. Nonetheless, you won't even begin to be able to approach a solution in Afghanistan unless somehow this dynamic is also integrated into the approach. Maybe the UN has certain comparative advantages in being able to do this, precisely because it's a consensus forum. It has structural problems, of course, and it has so many other problems, and it has to have the backing of its major members in order for them to be able to play this role. But I would like to underline, one is the importance of the Indo-Pakistan dynamic. The other is, of course, total confusion about what the policies towards Afghanistan is.